Today, I want to talk to you who feel like you're walking this life alone, sleeping alone, looking around and not finding anyone who truly understands your heart. Maybe you've asked yourself, why me? Why does this journey feel so lonely? Why is it that even when I'm doing everything right, time keeps moving and nothing seems to change? Let me tell you something, and please, listen with your heart. There are women who were chosen to walk a different path, women set apart by God, not because they were less, but because they carry something greater, something the world can't see. These women are not alone. They are in silence. And that silence is not punishment. It is preparation. While the world chases appearances, these souls are being forged in truth. While others seek noise, they learn to hear God in a whisper. If you are in this season, if you fall asleep alone night after night, if you feel like no one is truly walking beside you, please know God has not abandoned you. In fact, He is closer now than ever before. Today we're going to talk about this, about the kind of woman heaven knows by name, the kind the world overlooks, but who are far too precious to be handed to just anyone, the ones who are being prepared in the quiet, but who very soon will be seen through the eyes of eternity. I'm not here to give you quick answers or magical formulas. I'm here to walk beside you, to remind you of who you are and of how much you're worth. So take a deep breath. Feel this presence, because this message is for you. Before we continue, tell me in the comments, do you feel like God has been setting you apart? Have you been walking through a season of silence? If this touches your heart, share it with someone else who might need it too. And of course, if you haven't subscribed to this channel yet, go ahead and do that now. Turn on the bell so you won't miss what's coming next. You know, there's something that hurts, and nobody likes to talk about it. It's when we begin to feel out of place. Not because we did anything wrong, but because we're living right in a world that's turned upside down. Have you noticed? When a woman chooses to walk in righteousness, to move in silence, to stay in faith without chasing attention or relationships, she starts to make people uncomfortable. Her presence alone becomes unsettling. People don't understand her. They give her strange looks. They ask questions that hurt. But why are you still alone? Don't you think it's about time? All of this while you remain still, while you trust, while you keep walking in silence, believing that even when nothing seems to be happening, everything is actually falling into place. You are not behind. You are not forgotten. You are hidden on purpose by a God who is intentional in everything He does. Sometimes God hides His greatest treasures not to punish them, but to protect them. And you are one of those treasures. That's why not everyone sees you. That's why not every door opens. That's why it seems like others move faster while you're still waiting. But what they find quickly often disappears just as fast. What God is preparing for you is lasting. It's eternal. It's sacred. Your waiting is not wasted. It's worship. And one day when everything aligns, when the time appointed by heaven arrives, you'll understand that the silence wasn't rejection. It was protection. That the delays were divine. That the loneliness was actually intimacy. That the quiet was God drawing you closer to reveal to you what can't be seen in the noise of this world. So today, don't rush. Don't lower your standards. Don't give up just to feel something temporary. Your path may be narrow, but it is holy, and you are not walking it alone. Even if no one else understands, God sees you. He's been with you in every silent cry, in every unanswered prayer, in every tear shed behind closed doors. And when the time is right, He will honor you, not just in front of people, but in front of every battle that tried to break you. So stand firm, woman of light, because your story is being written by the one who never makes mistakes. There is a right time for everything, and until that time comes, He keeps you hidden, because you don't place a masterpiece just anywhere. You don't throw a precious jewel into chaos. And sometimes you wonder, have I been forgotten? Is God not hearing me? Let me answer that for you. No, you have not been forgotten. You've been set apart for something greater, for something that is not born from haste but from promise. And God's promises never return empty. But those promises, they begin in the invisible. In the quiet days when it feels like nothing is happening, in the backstage of your soul. Far from the eyes of those who judge you, far from the comments of those who don't understand. It's in that secret place that God shapes you. It's where He speaks words only your spirit can understand. Where He strengthens your bones, heals your wounds, aligns your thoughts, and gives you vision to see beyond what human eyes can reach. And maybe, on the outside, nothing has changed. The house still looks the same. The pillow is still cold. The messages are still silent. But inside you, something has already begun to grow. It's like a spiritual pregnancy. God is forming something within you. And when the time comes, it will be impossible to hide. There's something the world still hasn't understood. Being alone is not the same as being empty. Some women may not have a husband beside them, but they carry a fullness that many couples will never experience. And I know so many people associate happiness with company-ness. They think you can only be complete if you have someone to call mine, but there are women who sleep alone and still rest in perfect peace, because their hearts are filled with something the world cannot give and absolutely cannot take away. It's a peace that doesn't depend on a ring on the finger. It's a joy that doesn't come from gifts, but from presence, the presence of God. It's as if they have made their home in the sacred, even with tired eyes from waiting, even when the body longs for a hug. Their soul is alive, steady and full. And that, my friend, that unsettles people. Because when the world sees a woman who does not bend to emotional hunger, who doesn't chase after scraps of affection, who doesn't beg for attention, the world doesn't know how to handle her. It's easier to label her than to understand her. Easier to say she's too much, too proud, too hard to please than to admit the truth. That she simply refuses to accept less than what God promised her. And you know this, don't you? How many times have they looked at you as if something is missing, as if being single was some kind of flaw, but they have no idea that you are already overflowing. Overflowing with maturity, discernment, faith, patience, and a self-love that was built through tears, on bruised knees, in silent prayers. There are those who think you are empty because you are alone, but you know the truth. It was in solitude that God taught you to be complete in Him, and no one can take that away from you. That is why your presence is unsettling, because you don't need to prove anything to anyone. You simply are, and that is enough. You have become your own refuge, a temple, a sacred territory, and that is why God protects you, because He knows how much it cost to reach this place of fullness, a place no one really understands, but everyone can feel. There are silences that scream, and moments in life when the absence of words is exactly where God is most present. It's strange, isn't it? Because we've learned to associate God's presence with goosebumps, loud worship, immediate answers. But He also speaks in whispers, in pauses, in apparent emptiness. And that's where you come in. How many times have you found yourself in silence, not because you had nothing to say, but because you were tired of explaining your faith to those who don't understand, because you chose to listen more to heaven than to the noisy advice of the world, because you understood that some things only God knows. The silence you live is not weakness, it is choice, it is protection. It is a secret place with God. While the world runs, you pray. While everyone panics, you wait. While many seek answers in distractions, you close the door of your room and kneel down. It may seem small, but in the spiritual realm, it is enormous, because God dwells in that silence. It is in the silence that he examines you, pours out discernment, wisdom, and invisible strength. And there is a detail almost no one notices. When a woman enters into silence, God rises up for her. It is in silence that he clothes you with a new anointing. It is where he heals old wounds without exposing you. It is where he removes burdens no one knew you carried. On the outside, you continue your routine. You work, take care of things, smile. But inside, a process is happening, a delicate and powerful reconstruction. And it is in that silent place that God transforms the heart. And a transformed heart changes everything around it. You will see your attitudes, your choices, even your energy change. And this doesn't come from a motivational speech. It comes from within, from above. It is God dwelling in the silence you accepted to live. Ruth. Ah, Ruth. If there is a woman in the Bible who carries the essence of silent hope, it is her. Your people will be my people, and your God will be my God. That's what she said. And in that moment, without even realizing it, she sealed a promise. Why is this important to you? Because maybe today you are exactly in that place, not knowing what comes next, without guarantees, without immediate relief, but firm in faith, firm in the choice to follow what God placed in your heart. And that silent firmness moves heaven, you know. Ruth didn't chase after Boaz. She didn't despair for approval. She simply lived with honor, loyalty, and truth. And in the right time, God moved everything. He connected the right people, prepared the scene, opened doors she never imagined, and what seemed like just a widowed survivor became part of Jesus' lineage. Do you realize the weight of that? God took a woman who walked alone through the fields, gathering leftovers, and transformed her into an essential link in his divine plan. And do you know what that proves? God doesn't choose the loudest, the most visible, or the most praised. He chooses those who remain, who honor him in secret, who keep going even when everything seems stuck. If you are there walking in silence, maybe tired, but still standing, you are exactly the kind of person God chooses to make history. You don't need to force anything. The promise has already been made. And just like Ruth, you will reap where you never planted because God saw what no one else saw. And he rewards those who remain. Have you ever stopped to think that even in silence, even without a stage, even without spiritual status, you are already being used by God? Some people think that to be his instrument, you need to be on a pulpit preaching to crowds, healing the sick with a touch, or having extraordinary visions. But God works very differently. He uses those who are available. He uses those who surrender in secret, and that's where you come in. Remember that advice you gave a friend without even realizing you were being used. That word that came out of your mouth and made someone cry, saying, "That was exactly what I needed to hear." Or that calm you bring when you walk into a room, or even the strength you show amid so many difficulties. That's not just your way. It's the light God put inside you acting, even when you don't see it. There are people being touched by your presence, people inspired by how you handle life, people who feel stronger just knowing you keep believing, even when everything tries to make you give up. You are a channel, even if you sometimes feel fragile, even if you don't feel ready, even if you look in the mirror and doubt yourself. Ask yourself, am I really making a difference? Yes, you are, more than you know. God doesn't need you to be perfect. He only needs you to be sincere, to keep giving your best, even when you're tired, to keep being yourself, even if the world doesn't understand. Your way of loving is healing. Your sensitivity is a bridge. Your attention to detail, your attentive listening, your steady and silent presence. All of these are God's tools. And listen, when you pray for someone, even if they don't know it, heaven moves. When you forgive without applause, when you choose not to retaliate, when you stay silent to keep the peace, all of that is spiritual greatness. You have been used, yes, quietly but powerfully. God hasn't hidden you to forget you. He hid you because precious instruments aren't left out in the open. You are rare, and He knows it. Some things God builds in secret, and those are usually the most precious. Have you ever seen an artist shaping a sculpture?